The year was 1863, and the United States of America was torn apart by the Civil War. Brother fought against brother, and the land was stained with the blood of countless soldiers. The Battle of Gettysburg was one of the turning points of this brutal conflict, a 3-day confrontation that would decide the fate of a divided nation. Nathan Carter, a young soldier from Pennsylvania, had just turned 19. He joined the Union Army not out of hatred for the Confederacy but out of love for his country and a belief in the promise of freedom and equality. His father, a farmer, had died defending the family's land, and Nathan felt it was his duty to protect the ideals his father had cherished. Nathan and his regiment were stationed near the small town of Gettysburg. On July 1, 1863, the stillness of the morning was shattered by the booming sound of cannon fire. The Confederate Army, led by General Robert E. Lee, had launched a massive invasion of the North, and Gettysburg was now at the heart of the conflict. The first day of battle was chaos. Nathan found himself surrounded by the screams of wounded soldiers and the deafening roar of musket fire. He clutched his rifle tightly, his hands trembling as he followed his commanding officer's orders to advance. Smoke filled the air, and the once peaceful farmland was transformed into a battlefield littered with fallen men. By the evening, the Union forces had been pushed back, and Nathan's regiment was ordered to retreat to higher ground. Exhausted and heartbroken, Nathan helped carry a wounded comrade to safety. He could see the fear in the eyes of his fellow soldiers, but he also saw determination. They knew that the fight was far from over. On the second day, the battle intensified. Nathan's unit was stationed at Little Round Top, a rocky hill that was vital to the Union Army's defensive position. If the Confederates captured it, they could outflank the Union forces and claim victory. The Union soldiers dug in, using rocks and fallen trees as makeshift barricades. As the sun rose high in the sky, the Confederate soldiers launched wave after wave of attacks. Nathan's rifle grew hot from constant firing, and his shoulder ached from the recoil. He could hear the shouts of his commanding officer, urging them to hold the line. Each time the Confederates charged, the Union soldiers repelled them with fierce determination. At one point, Nathan ran out of ammunition. Without hesitation, he grabbed a bayonet from a fallen comrade and joined the melee. The clash of steel rang in his ears as he fought hand-to-hand with a Confederate soldier. It was a brutal and personal struggle, but Nathan's resolve never wavered. He was fighting for something greater than himself, for his family, his friends, and the future of his country. The third and final day of the battle dawned with an eerie calm. Both armies knew that this day would decide the outcome. General Lee ordered a massive assault on the center of the Union line, a maneuver that would come to be known as Pickett's Charge. Thousands of Confederate soldiers marched across an open field, directly into the fire of Union cannons and rifles. Nathan watched in awe and horror as the Confederate soldiers advanced. The ground shook from the thunder of artillery, and the air was filled with smoke and the cries of the wounded. Despite the overwhelming odds, the Confederate soldiers continued their charge, their bravery undeniable. As the Confederate line drew closer, Nathan and his fellow soldiers opened fire. The battlefield became a scene of unimaginable carnage. Nathan felt a bullet graze his arm, but he barely noticed the pain. His focus was on the task at hand, stopping the charge and holding the line. When the dust finally settled, the Union Army had emerged victorious. The Confederate forces retreated, their ranks decimated. The Battle of Gettysburg was over, but the cost had been staggering. Nearly 50,000 soldiers from both sides had been killed, wounded, or captured. Nathan stood on the battlefield, surrounded by the bodies of his comrades and enemies alike. He felt a mix of relief and sorrow. They had won the battle, but the war was far from over. Nathan knew that more blood would be shed before the nation could heal. In the days that followed, President Abraham Lincoln visited Gettysburg and delivered a speech that would be remembered for generations. The Gettysburg Address was a tribute to the fallen and a reminder of the ideals for which they had fought. Nathan carried the memory of Gettysburg with him for the rest of his life. He returned home after the war, scarred but hopeful. He became a teacher, dedicating his life to educating future generations about the importance of unity, freedom, and sacrifice. The Battle of Gettysburg had tested the resolve of a young soldier and a divided nation. In the end, it was a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the unyielding pursuit of a better tomorrow.